Shana Tova. Thank you, Rabbi Farber, for that lovely introduction. On behalf of the Board of Directors, welcome to the Kol Nidre service at Beth Torah Benny Rock campus. 1 month ago, I celebrated my 50th birthday. My wife woke up about an hour after me that morning and found me lying on the floor of the bathroom in a fetal position. She said, "It's not so funny." She said, "What are you doing?" adding a word or two that I can't say here. The next day, we learned that my 50th birthday present was a giant kidney stone. I told you it wasn't funny. The day after that, I was lying on a bed in a pre-op room wearing only a gown that was so thin it could have been see-through and a stupid-looking blue hat. All I can think of was the uncomfortable and very invasive route the surgeon would need to take to get to my kidney and how the whole operating room would get the pleasure to see my most personal and private areas. Then the anesthesiologist walks in and he says, "Oh, I know you from Beth Torah." Could this be any more awkward? Well, I woke up 3 hours later in my hospital room, and there was Cantor Marcos singing to me. And the next day, Rabbi Roisman walked to the hospital as soon as Shabbat services ended, along with our executive director. Membership at Beth Torah certainly has its privileges, and so does being president. Beth Torah is always there for you during the best of times, the worst of times, and the most embarrassing times. That is what family is. I am so proud of what Beth Torah has accomplished in the last year, and I'm honored to be your president. Our synagogue's membership is now 940 families. This is the largest this community has ever been. A special welcome to all of our new members who are here tonight. A synagogue means different things for different people. Some use it to say Kaddish for a loved one, some so they can attend Shabbat services, some use it to educate their kids or to educate themselves. Some come to see old friends, others want to meet new friends. Some want to connect their family to Judaism and its traditions, and others use it to enforce these traditions. There's no right or wrong way to utilize a synagogue. You do you, whatever makes you happy. What we are is a community. You may not know when you will need us, but when you do, we are there for you. We are there to laugh with you, cry with you, and be part of your lives. Tonight, I want to try to remind you of the type of connection that our synagogue tries to provide. I want to tell you about some of the things from my last year as president that have been ingrained in my memory. I wanted to make this a David Letterman top 10 list, but Marshall taught me that everything should have a Jewish significance, and therefore there are actually 18 memories, as 18 signifies life. But don't worry, I breeze through them quickly, and if I don't, blame Marshall. In chronological order, here they are. Number 1 year ago today, September 25th, 1 week into the Jewish calendar year, we had our Nila service, the conclusion of Yom Kippur. This is a special service where our synagogue comes together to celebrate as one community. We have glow sticks, great music, dancing, singing, everyone can pray at the Ark, and we all forget, even if just for a little bit, that we have been fasting for 24 hours. The spirit of that evening is contagious. Seeing entire families, grandparents, parents, and toddlers praying in the Ark is meaningful. Join us for this special service tomorrow night. I promise you that you'll love it. On November 28th, number 2, I made the decision as president. I made the best decision as president. I hired Jill Koch as our executive director. She is so dedicated to Beth Torah. She's a force to be reckoned with and has done great things for our synagogue for many years. The inner workings of our synagogue have never been so smooth and efficient, and I hope that Jill is our executive director for decades. If so, the sky is truly the limit for the impact our synagogue can make. Thank you, Jill. Number 3, on January 20th, we hosted our Gospel Shabbat. This is the favorite Shabbat service of many here. It is fun, energetic, unique, and brings with it the spirit of togetherness with other local religious groups. This year, many local politicians attended, including Congresswoman Frederica Wilson and the Consul General of Israel. Join us for the next one in January. You'll be in for a treat. The next morning, right after Gospel Shabbat, on January 21st, Sisterhood held its Shabbat service, his Sisterhood Shabbat service. Our sisterhood led the entire service from beginning to end. Sisterhood does so much for our synagogue all year, and it was wonderful to see the ladies take the helm of the service, lead the prayers, give a devar Torah, read Torah, and everything else in between. Some were seasoned pros, some were less comfortable, but they all enjoyed working together to lead the service. For me, the most memorable part was when one of its members came up to read the Haftorah. Never an easy thing to do. Before reading, she opened up to everyone. She told us that her husband would stand next to her on the bima because she was experiencing memory issues. And although she was ready, he was there just in case she couldn't remember. Imagine how comfortable she had to be in this congregation with her friends to be able to announce this. This shows the family that we are. And by the way, she was perfect. Number 5, February 10th, at our Friday night service, we recognized those in Turkey who were affected by the massive earthquake that week. The Turkish Consul General was our guest. We had a Turkish Oneg Shabbat. We prayed for those who were impacted by the earthquake, and our social action team helped those in need. That is what we do at Beth Torah. We know there are many who are less fortunate and are encountering hard times, and we help when we can. Number 6, February 15th, I attended a foundation committee meeting. This committee manages the funds that have been donated to the Beth Torah Foundation and distributes scholarships to Beth Torah students who applied for assistance to attend Jewish and Israel programs. This committee gave away more than a dozen scholarships this year so that these kids can continue their Jewish education. Being able to help our members, even in this small way, is an important part of what we do. Number 7, on March 7th, the evening started with the Purim Ball, where hundreds of kids ran around Beth Torah dressed like superheroes, soccer players, princesses, Queen Esther, and kings. They played games, they ate, and they made a lot of noise. Then we moved to the Perez Chapel to read the Megillah. Some of our college-age kids, including my nieces, joined a half dozen adults and read the Megillah while a couple hundred of us made noise with our groggers. Number 8, on March 11th, our annual gala was a beautiful and classy evening with great food, music, and company. The gala is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, and I would like to announce another great fundraiser that we're having on Saturday night, January 6th. If laughter really is the best medicine, then this is just what the doctor ordered. The hilarious Jewish comedian Modi has been selling out all over the world and will be appearing right here to entertain us. Tickets go on sale soon, and it will be a great night. And I'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Warren Zinn, and the Warren Henry Auto Group for your generosity. Please support our synagogue, have a fun night, and laugh. Hopefully more than you laugh at my attempts of humor. Number 9, March 31st, we had our first ever Shabbat on the beach. Who attended our Shabbat on the beach? The weather was perfect, and so was the atmosphere. We had white-gloved ushers, a 15-piece orchestra, Annie Roisman singing with her dad in our cantor. We celebrated under the stars on the sand with the waves of the Atlantic Ocean in the background. Everything was first class. This was one of the most special Shabbats I've ever been a part of and would not have happened without the graciousness of the Grosskopf family. I am so happy that we will be doing this again on April 19th. And speaking of Annie Roisman, I am excited that she will become a regular part of our Friday night Shabbat service as our new cantorial soloist. She will lead us in song on Fridays, along with her dad, Rabbi Roisman, and Cantor Marcos. Just when you thought our Friday night service could not get any better, it did. Number 10, on April 10th, 1 week after we had this ritzy, first-class Shabbat on the beach, we were again doing what Beth Torah does best, helping those in need. Our social action committee hosted our special mitzvah Seder. We filled our ballroom with special needs adults who could not have their own Seder. This Seder was led by Rabbi Botnick and Cantor Marcos, and you could see from the faces of our guests that each of them enjoyed it immensely. Our social action committee is incredibly dedicated to making the world a better place, and we had dozens of members to help run this Seder. There is so much that our synagogue does special, but what we do to help others is one of our hallmarks. I just want to tell you something else about this topic. Every month, a group of our members visit the homeless in the city. They meet with them, they talk with them, and they try to help. Recently, one of these committee members literally took the shoes off of her own feet, gave them to a woman who needed new shoes, and then she went home without shoes of her own. And knowing our congregation, those were very expensive shoes. That is who we are, and hearing this made me so proud. As a community, number 11, as a community like ours, we are together for the good times and unfortunately also the difficult. Not all memories are joyous. On April 21st, we hosted the funeral service for Joel Hochberg, who was a pillar of our Beth Torah community and one of our trustees. Not only have Joel and his lovely wife Marcia been longtime members of Beth Torah, they have always been so generous to both our synagogue and also to Hochberg Preparatory, which was housed on our campus for a long time before moving to Hallandale 3 years ago. That day showed the closeness of our community, as many mourned here and dozens more watched online while on the Federation mission to Israel. Our Rabbi Roisman even traveled back from Israel to officiate the service. We are honoring Joel at our gala on March 2nd, and we hope that all of you will attend. My wife Marla and I are also being honored, and we are privileged to share the night with Joel and his family. We love Joel so much, who is one of the most special and wonderful people we have ever known. Number 12. Israel celebrated its 75th birthday this year, and we celebrated in style on April 26th, thanks to the Joel Newman Family Yom HaAtzmaut Fund. This was an event planned for our whole family by our religious school. Our Director of Lifelong Learning, Gabby Reskovsky, and her team planned a celebration like we have never seen before at Beth Torah. We had singing, dancing, falafel, and authentic Israeli shuk with booths representing every area of Israel. The kids made smoothies and pita and decorated the kotel. And I saved the best part for last. What would Israel be without camels? We had camels, real camels at Beth Torah. Don't worry, they remained outside, but we all had to be very careful where we stepped. And if any of you see Amy Dean or Alan Kluger around, please, please do not tell them that there are camels posing for pictures with Beth Torah kids for hours in the sukkah that they endowed. Gabby, they're here. You don't have to keep that a secret from him. Gabby and her religious school team made learning fun, have special events for every holiday, and the kids love coming to Beth Torah to attend the Sheck Family Religious School. And of course, our learning does not stop when you are no longer a kid. Our adult education is unique and interesting. We have had classes in the last year about Jewish music, medical ethics issues, Jewish holidays, and the Jewish mafia. Our next class is on October 16th when Hugo Hurwitz will lecture on current issues in Israel and the Middle East. I also want to tell you about the class we're having on October 23rd because this one is special. Rudy Hyman is a Holocaust survivor and a World War II vet. He escaped Germany, later fought against the Nazis as a British intelligence officer, and built a new life for himself in Chile. And he is 102 years old. He will come here to discuss his memoirs Beyond Borders on October 23rd. Come join us for these classes. We are also honored to host former Argentinian President Mauricio Macri on October 2nd for a lecture in Spanish. We are so fortunate. What other synagogue is hosting speeches in a 1-month period by a 102-year-old Holocaust survivor, a former president of Argentina, Rabbi Farber, and me? This is the only one. Number 13, on June 1st, this was the day that Michelle Scheck became our executive vice president. This excited me. Somebody's clapping, I think her husband. This excited me to no end, as I know Michelle will be a fantastic president and an excellent leader of this synagogue. She is passionate, creative, intelligent, and hardworking, and I can't wait to see what Michelle has in store for us. Thank you, Michelle, for stepping up, and I'm so happy to work with you. 14, on the morning of June 2nd, our Susie Fisher Early Childhood Academy celebrated its pre-K graduation. Parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents filled this room to celebrate our preschoolers. It was so special seeing people videoing their little ones wearing their little caps and gowns, performing on stage, and letting us all know that our preschool has prepared them to move on to the next stage of their lives. Our ECA now has 320 students, the most it has ever had. It is thriving, the parents love the education that our school provides, and most importantly, the kids love their time here. Our ECA is expertly headed by Sandra Kopp and her team of awesome educators, and we are so happy to have such a wonderful preschool on our campus. Number 15, on July 25th, we had our Camp Simcha show. 242 campers, again, the most we've ever had, who were part of groups such as the Butterflies, the Rainbow Fish, and the Meerkats, sang and danced for their parents and grandparents and friends like there was no tomorrow. Summers at Beth Torah are a lot of fun, and this is thanks to Jenny Buchholz and her devoted, fun, and creative camp staff. When Jenny isn't running our camp, she is the youth director for our older kids, 2nd through 12th grade. Our USY program is excellent, and Jenny's daughter, Kayla, is now our USY president. We thank Jenny for her hard work in making sure that all of our kids are part of this community and have the best time while at our synagogue. Number 16 happened just 1 week ago. On September 15th, I attended Erev Rosh Hashanah services in Spanish with 600 others. I understood none of the service. It was all in Spanish or Hebrew, and I only speak English, but it was beautiful and moving. We are so lucky to have a diverse community here, and we provide meaningful programming for all in English and Spanish. This is part of the reason why we are the leading conservative synagogue in Florida. I also want to mention how blessed we are to have our clergy. Our rabbis and cantor are each so special, so unique, so inspirational, and are the best around and perfect for this community. And I don't know if he's here, but I understand Cantor's son Robert is having a birthday today. We are also grateful, how old? 4. We are also grateful for Marla Cohen, who is the woman behind the scenes and does so much to make our clergy and Beth Torah look great. Numbers 17 and 18 are a package deal. These two memories happened exactly 1 year ago and right now when I have had the pleasure of speaking before you. I have been so honored to serve as Beth Torah's president. It has been a wonderful, meaningful, and humbling experience, and I look forward to the final 9 months of my term and look forward to becoming a past president. I am so thankful to my wife, Marla, and our sons, Ryan and Ross, for helping me, being by my side, assisting with my speeches, and for your dedication to this endeavor. I hope that you have grown through this as I have. Our family believes in volunteering our time, and we are all inspired by what we try to do for this community. These great events would not have happened without the help of many. Thank you to my wonderful executive committee and board of directors for your hard work, dedication to the synagogue, and for volunteering your time to this endeavor. Would you please stand if you're on the board of directors? Thank you all. A huge thank you to everyone on our professional staff. I've discussed our professional leaders already, and there are many more who work hard behind the scenes and who put forth significant effort to make this synagogue a synagogue we are proud of. The high holidays and everything that happens here would not be possible but for our staff. Please do me a favor. When you see our staff members around today and tomorrow, thank them for their hard work. They deserve it. My wish for the upcoming year is that everyone utilizes the synagogue just a bit more than last year. If you don't come for Shabbat services, come once or twice this year. If you have never been to an adult education class, try one out. Send your kids to religious school or youth groups if you don't do so already. Thank you for being part of this community. We love having your support. And thank you for allowing me to be president of this special synagogue. Gemara Hatima Tova, may you all be sealed in the book of life. Thank you.